Alrighty, let's do this. Hey YouTube, what's going on, guys? Kind of the casual back again with some more. Alright, wait. Before we start this. If you didn't see on your YouTube feed already, I posted that this is a re-record of my SummerSlam Night 2 R&R video because either my file got corrupted or I don't know, something didn't upload properly. And I was wondering why the video did not premiere when I had set it to premiere. It's okay though. We're here now. This video will be out either tonight as I record or the following morning. So be on the lookout. But I'm telling you to be on the lookout to something that you're viewing now. That doesn't make too much sense now. Anyway, enough of my scatterbrain. What's up, YouTube? Kyle the Casual, of course, with Common Casual Wrestling, and this is the re-record for my R&R, my reviews and ratings of SummerSlam 2025 Night 2. I'm probably going to speed through this because now I've already done this. I did a 30-something minute long video about this already, and now I'm kind of just rehashing this information again. So I'm going to try to do these matches justice. But I'm not going to lie to you, I'm probably going to try to do this a lot quicker than last time. Starting with a great way to open up Night 2. The triple threat between Naomi, the champion, versus Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Rhea Bloody Ripley. Mommy. Anyway, so this was a good match. It was fun. I expected it to be a lot faster paced. I was expecting something to the extent of like the Bianca, Io, and Rhea match from Night 2 of WrestleMania, which was the best match of that Mania this year. So, didn't get that. It was still good. It was still fun. Don't get me wrong. There was the opening scene where they're facing off, and Naomi's like, "Nope, I'm out. y'all can deal with each other. I'm done." Instead of doing the typical thing where the two baby faces actually start to hit each other, though, they actually do go after Naomi, and I was actually really glad to see that. I was literally yelling at my TV. I'm like, if y'all don't go after her, right? Anyway, Naomi had a lot of offense in this match, though, after she was done being a cowardly heel, though. And it really looked good. I loved one other highlight at her entrance. Everybody did their typical entrance, except for Naomi, because Naomi came out with her father, playing a wonderful Fender Stratocaster, playing her out to the ring. It was awesome. His name is Sean McRae, and yeah, shout out to that dude. He's very talented, and glad to see it. It was really cool for Naomi to get that moment. So thank you, and thank you WWE. So just a couple other highlights. There was a cool spot where they did reference the WrestleMania match with Bianca, where Io Sky was about to hit a moonsault on both Naomi and Rhea Ripley, but Naomi moves out the way and hits Rhea instead. And at the end of the match, Naomi takes advantage of Rhea Ripley hitting Riptide on Io Sky, and instead breaks up the pin and ends up pinning Rhea Ripley, grabbing the tights. Of course, it was a triple threat, so it's no DQ, which I feel some way about. I feel like triple threats would still have like rules. Like no DQ doesn't make sense. I don't know. That's a micro criticism though. It's been like that for a while. So anyway, I did like this match, but I did not like it as much as the Mania match between these two ladies, and instead of Naomi, we had Bianca. I didn't hate it though. It just wasn't at the pace I expected it to be at. It didn't. I don't think its time got cut short like some of the matches on Night 1, or at least I feel like they got cut short. I don't know. So, I rated this 3.5. It just didn't do it the same way as the Evolution match or the WrestleMania 41 match. So, but I still had a lot of fun watching it. Don't get me wrong. My ratings are based on my enjoyment of the match. So a 3.5 is still not bad. So 3 belts, and a tag team belt. Anyway, we move on to this car crash of a TLC tag team match between DIY, the Street Profits, Ray Phoenix and Andrade, Fraxium, Motor City Machine Guns, and of course the champions Wyatt 6. Again, I'm not going to be able to give these matches like enough credit just talking about them. Highly recommend, if you have not watched SummerSlam already and you have Peacock, go watch these matches, especially night 2. There is this pattern of when they do 2-night events, night 2 is usually better. I went to WrestleMania 40 and I bought the ticket for WrestleMania night 2. So, yeah, that seems to be a pattern going on here. And the Gunther, Punk, and Rollins match, you know, they were great. That was a great way to end that show, but that was used to recover a show that had a really dull midpoint. Anyway, getting back to this match, we had the Hardys and the Dudleys celebrating I believe it's the 25th anniversary of the original TLC match at SummerSlam. That was very cool to see, and I do love the modern cross-promotion that WWE is actually willing to do. They used to be a company that, no, we're not working with anybody else. And other people would cross-promote every now and then. And now they own AAA, and they have a partnership with TNA and work with Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan. I think we should make a video about the wrestling landscape, about who's on whose side, the tribalism wars. Again, we don't do tribalism here. I like AEW, I like WWE, I like TNA, I like New Japan when I watch it. I like Ring of Honor when I watch it. And I love me some, I said AEW already. I love me some WWE. I love pro wrestling. That's pretty much where it begins and ends. But that doesn't mean that we won't talk about topics in the wrestling world that include tribalism. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. Let's round it back to the TLC match, and good grief. Let me just read off some of the notes I took about this match and some of the crazy spots that happened. First off, everybody gangs up on the Wyatt 6, the champs, to start off, and then everybody starts breaking down and fighting each other. I don't want to say a funny spot, but I guess it was a botch that happened. And again, I try not to be overly critical, but it was kind of funny to see the Street Profits try to double suplex Joe Gacy onto a ladder bridge on the ropes, and they totally miss, and they just hit him on the mat, and then he rolls out of the ring. And I think Montez even checks on him and says, like, oh snap, hey, are you good? That wasn't the plan. Bump. And I guess they, were like, nah, I'm good, run it back. And they did it again, and they actually hit it. So that was cool. Thank you for actually giving us the spot anyway. We saw Ray Phoenix and Andrade hit Stereo 3 Amigos. That was pretty cool. Tables. This match in tables. So it's supposed to be TLC. Everything included, right? But tables in this match. Good grief. There were, I believe, 4 table spots on the outside of the ring where somebody jumped off from the corner of the ring and did some flying move on somebody else. We had Dexter Lumis do either an elbow or a senton onto, was it Angelo Dawkins, I think? Forgive me if I get who did what wrong. This happened a few days ago now. We had a Spanish fly from Axiom onto, I believe it was Montez Ford. Yeah, I can't do these moments justice. It was just non-stop revving action the entire time. I rated this a 4 out of 5 because it was just epic. Sorry. Wait, did I say 4.5 or did I say 4 out of 5? Whatever I said, I meant to say a 4.5. Not quite perfect, obviously, with that botch early in the match, but the rest of it, Good grief. A lot of interference from everybody's extras on the teams. Of course, the Wyatt Six. Eric Rowan gets involved until he is double teamed by the Street Profits. They put him through a table after clobbering him with chairs. Candice LeRae, B-Fab, and Nikki Cross get involved on behalf of their respective teams. And Candice LeRae goes crashing down from a ladder into a ladder on the outside, kind of exposing the business a little bit, because you can see it breaks in half, and you can see this styrofoam, for the somewhat softer landing, but don't get it twisted. This was a crazy landing. She went like knee first. I was somewhat concerned for her, but I have not heard any injury reports of anybody coming out of SummerSlam hurt. And it's been a couple days now, so I think everybody's okay. Maybe a little banged up, but I think everybody's okay. We talked about Rowan already. Uncle Howdy gets in after all the teams do a ladder race trying to, get in. He sends all the teams down, DIY, through 4 tables. And in a last rush with Ray and Andrade, they try to go for the belts with the Wyatts. Andrade gets hit with a sunset power bomb, I believe that move is called. And then Ray Phoenix takes a Wyatt finisher on the outside. Joe Gacy climbs up for the belts and retrieves them. That's game over. The Wyatts retain. I said 4.5. I'm sticking to it. In this match, we had Becky Lynch, the champ with the IC title, versus Lyra Valkyria, with a couple of stipulations. One, if Lyra loses, you cannot challenge Becky again, and it's no countouts, no DQ. There must be a winner. Becky's new song debuts by a band called The Wonder Years. It is awesome. She did not get Def Rebelled. My personal review is I like how it still kind of has like an Irish sound in the beginning. And hey, I think we're going to miss Celtic Invasion, but you never know. Maybe she goes babyface in the future and it comes back. But she's had that song her entire WWE career. Like, it never changed. My guess is anyone's guess if it ever got remixed, but I don't believe it ever got remixed. I'll miss Celtic Invasion, but this is a good song. So I'm happy she got that. So moving on to the match. A lot of back and forth, weapon spots, during the whole match. There's a point in the match where Lyra Valkyria, in defense of Becky grabbing a kendo stick, she comes back with a crowbar. Just want to read a couple of the highlights I had from this match. Becky eventually, takes control of this match using kendo sticks, chains, toolboxes, and tying Lyra Valkyria's hands together. There was a point at the match, I must have missed it, but I was listening to everybody else's reviews about this, and they were talking about how the zip tie came off at one point, but I guess they maneuvered it back on. So Lyra's getting dominated for a little while, but she ends up coming with some creative offense. She does a belly-to-belly suplex with the ties on. I believe she does a corner flip into Becky to, desperately try to get something going. They end up brutalizing each other the entire time. Lyra, at one point in the match, hit a super Nightwing off of the steel steps to the outside, which is very, very cool to see. Becky captures Lyra in a steel chair, ramming her into the commentary table multiple times before being rammed the other way into the ring post, but she ends up slamming Lyra again. So she ends up on the ground. At this point in the match, Lyra's on the ground defenseless, wrapped up in a chair, and Becky is ready to assault her with the crowbar from earlier in the match. And, okay, this is like the time where babyface Bayley, despite their differences, has to come and save Lyra. And it does happen. She comes out and saves the day. She stops Becky from hitting her. But then Becky tries her heel shenanigans, them being four horsemen and saying, hey, listen, this is our company. We are supposed to be the ones running this place, right? And she tries to convince her, hey, you should hit her with it. Becky thinks about it, but eventually, no, she throws it away. She's still a good guy, Becky. Bailey. And I'm glad that we didn't turn her heel. I would have liked it in the post-match if Lyra, being sick of this, did turn heel, but that didn't happen. Bailey brawls around with Becky before Becky fends her off, but then catches a leg drop from the returning Lyra Valkyria into a table. The match continues. Becky somehow gets on top again after this, and the closing of the match comes with Becky hitting a manhandle slam on Lyra Valkyria for the win after Becky returns trying to help Lyra in some chaos, but ends up hitting her with a steel chain that Becky had used earlier. She was trying to hit Becky, and she hit Lyra. So she can no longer challenge Becky Lynch for the IC title while she has it. That sucks. I rated this match a 4 out of 5. There's been a lot of opinions about this. I think it elevated from their last outing. But I can't give it anything higher than a 4 because of the zip tie, mishap. And I'm wondering what happens with Lyra Valkyria from here. Monday night, she tried to separate herself from Becky Lynch's, or not Becky Lynch, Bailey's, B-names, Bailey's Vortex. So, I guess that's another comparison to Chris Jericho. If people remember, if you've watched other wrestling channels, there's this joke about the Chris Jericho mid-card vortex. So, anyway, enough of that. Let's move on to the steel cage match with Solo Sikoa, the champ, the U.S. champion, versus Jacob Fatu. Okay, stop it. Let's go. So, of course, match starts heavy hitting action. Jacob starts on top. Solo recovers. He talks his smack to Jacob, telling him, you should have never left. I'm going to teach you a lesson. Yada, yada, yada. And starts slamming up against the ring. He's prevented from escaping a couple of times, though. And the match continues. And, of course, the MFTs have to get involved. They try to interfere. Jimmy, by himself, tries to fend them off before getting sent over a table by Tala Tonga. Just reading from notes from this point, we have... Oops, sorry. I accidentally scrolled on my notes super fast. Sorry about that. Give me a second to catch up to it. There we go. Samoan Spike is given to Jacob Fatu after demanding the ref to close the cage door after Solo had tried to escape. But Jacob, he's stubborn. Like, he doesn't want to walk out of the cage. He's like, no, I want to punish this dude for what he did to me. At one point in the match, Solo tries to instead escape from the door. He tries to escape from the top. When that ends up happening is, of course, the MFT still get involved. And Tala Tonga handcuffs Jacob to the top of the ring. Now, the camera misses this part, but he actually snaps it off just by pure strength. And he ends up catching up to Solo before he can escape the cage. The match eventually ended, though, with Tala Tonga's interference. Again, I believe he slams the cage door into Jacob's face or whatever, and he helps Solo escape. The match is done, but we get a post-match angle to send us home happy. Jimmy Uso returns, and he beats up JC Mateo and sends him back into the cage with Jacob Fatu, who was also in there with Tonga Loa. Jacob, of course, beats them down, and then he wants to go for his moonsault to punish them. He doesn't stop at the third rope, though. He scales the top of the cage, does the top of the cage moonsault for the beatdown, sends the crowd home happy. But, ooh, excuse me, sorry. Why am I out of breath? I should have kept a water bottle on me. Whoops. Anyway, keep it real, guys. I have goodwill towards this match, but it didn't get to 4 or 5 territory for me. I feel like steel cage matches are hit or miss sometimes. Like the one with Punk and Seth was great. And I don't mind people winning by walking out of the cage. I don't know. It's just something about this that just wasn't as exciting. The post match was better than the match itself. It had some goodwill toward it, so I was nice to give it a 3.5, not just a simple 3, because I'm a nice guy. Anyway, all right, tribute time. So we were already celebrating the anniversary of TLC. Well, SummerSlam has another special event from the past. Do you remember that awkward match in the past where it was a custody of Dominic match between Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, who had claimed that Dominic was his son? Well, there's plenty of reference to that. Rey Mysterio, not Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio comes out to his regular entrance, takes off the mask, saying, "I'm the greatest Mysterio ever." He gets to the ring. We await AJ. AJ comes out driving a lowrider with his son, whose hair is bleached blonde. He's wearing his dad's shirt in the passenger seat. I'm surprised they didn't play Light Sheet Steel to do it, but his hands are taped up like Eddie's. His gear has color schemes and flames similar to Eddie's in the past, and he's wearing a Latino Heat shirt. And hey, you gotta love it. This whole match was a tribute to Eddie Guerrero, and I loved it. Just a quick few notes besides the entrance. They both worked great in this match. Just need to say that too. But of course, we have some lie, cheating, and stealing happening. We have a remove the turnbuckle moment from Dom, who then proceeds to go grab a steel chair while the ref is fixing the turnbuckle, and does the fake, hit, of the chair spot. So he hits the chair down the ring to make a noise, and then he falls back. And then there's, of course, the defense of this. AJ's like, "Oh, shoot." So he grabs the chair, and he makes the sound, but wraps it around himself and falls down. And he even does a little, like he was just hit with a chair and he's seizing up. This doesn't trick the ref because they're both, double down. The match continues. AJ had earlier tried for a calf crusher on Dominic, which did not work. He tries for it again, but this time, at some point in the match, he had loosened his boot. He escaped, similar to Eddie Guerrero, but he kept a hold of his boot, and behind the ref's back, he hits AJ, hits a frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Dominic Mysterio retains. So, I loved it. I know some people probably rated this lower, but again, this is my rating system, and this is based on my enjoyment, and I love the tribute to Eddie Guerrero. I gave it a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 casual star title belts. All right. I have loads of notes on this match, but seeing as how I don't want this to be a 30-something minute video again, I'm just going to tell you to go watch the title match, street fight between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. I was very happy to see this passing of the torch moment and John Cena back as a babyface. Cody comes out to a cool entrance where it's two Dusty promos mashed together. It was really cool. John comes out to his typical face entrance. He talks to Stu, he, shoots off to the crowd. He comes running down, slides into the ring, and lays out the towel. And yeah, it's truly sad that the last time is now at SummerSlam. But this match was very, very, very well done. Maybe the best John Cena match ever, and I don't say that like with any exclamation marks or blowing it up. Like, no, it really might be the best John Cena match ever. Top 5 at minimum. Yeah. Tyrese Halliburton from the Paces gets involved in this match too. as they're bringing in weapons. He gives John Cena a crutch. That's really funny. The crowd is, of course, booing John Cena. I mean, Cody Rhodes a lot because they want to be in support for him. So it's not that people hate Cody. It's they just want to be there for the hero, John Cena. And it's so crazy to see people who complained about Super Cena back in the day loving Super Cena now. I'm all here for it. I never disliked John Cena. But of course, I was missing from wrestling for a long time. So I don't know. But I'm a sucker for an ultimate good guy. And, you know, I love Cody and I love John Cena. A couple other points in this match that stuck out to me. When they're brawling outside of the ring, John hits that Canadian Destroyer that he brings out every now and then. We get an AA through one of the announce tables. They brawl through the crowd. John uses steel railing against Cody. And then he gets suplexed onto it, which I never thought he'd be taking bumps like that on his retirement tour. Like, good grief. These two just will not quit. They hit the best of each other's stuff, man. We see the top rope leg drop into an AA. We see the 5 moves of doom. We see a moment where after they're done brawling into the crowd, they brawl into like the front stage and they come up through the Cody Vader with John in AA position, and he gives an AA to Cody on the stage, which it was aura. He was aura farming because the smoke was going off, and he came up through the Cody Vader holding the dude who's supposed to come up through it. It's very cool. He then benches him all the way from the stage down to the ring, where Cody counters on some offense. I've said so much about this. They both kick out of super versions of their moveset. So it was like seeing Super Cena versus Homelander Cody. Cody Lander. But he did not. I'm just going to spoil it, though. There was no angle where Cody turned heel. This was just an all-out war. It's an instant classic, no question about it. The match concludes with... let me just review my notes here. Yeah, we get to the end, and John's in a position to hit another avalanche AA through a table on Cody. And instead of hitting that, Cody reverses and gets into position for cross ropes up the top through the table. John is stunned. He's beaten down, and looks like it's about time. Cody does the salute, and he gets him for Crossroads. Can't remember if he did Super Crossroads where he hits 3 of them or just the one. But 1, 2, 3. New champ. Cody Rhodes has regained the undisputed WWE Championship. This might be somewhat controversial for some fans, but I'm here for it. It was a worthwhile moment and opens up doors for John to do other things on the retirement tour. So, yeah. I already posted a video about this. This video was supposed to come out beforehand, but already talked about the Brock Lesnar situation, so I won't touch on it too much. Just know that after the passing of the torch moment, John gives the title to Cody, celebrates him, and then Cody leaves, letting the crowd celebrate John. John looks stunned as Brock Lesnar's music hits. They stare down for a long time. Brock enters the ring and gives an F5 to a nearly defenseless John Cena. So, yeah. That was SummerSlam Night 2, and it blew Night 1 out of the freaking water. Let me know what you guys thought about this in the comments. This ended up being a 30-some minute video anyway. But you know the drill, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the bell icon, and of course, I love you, enjoy pro wrestling, and for the love of pro wrestling, keep it casual. See you guys.